A lot of people ask me what the final stage of getting your veneers looks like. So here it is.
I only recommend veneers in some cases for my patients. A lot of people come and ask me for veneers and I'm like, oh, do you really think you need that?
We also refer to this as excessive overjet, or the public calls it an overbite. And then there's a class 3 where the upper canine is actually behind the perfect spot and is often hitting into the first 3.
The problems with this is that the joint up here suffers because we don't have a good spread of forces happening here.
You need to stop water flossing. You may have heard it cleans your teeth. You likely heard it eliminates stinky mouth bacteria and is fine to use with braces.
That's a big lie. Water floss doesn't prevent gum disease.
I could not disagree more. And I have some people who come and think, oh, I'm going to be great because I'm using my water flosser. But if you have a tool and you don't know how to use it, the problem is not the tool, it's the technique. I'm Dr.Maria Florou, and this is Mind Your Mouth. I'll be sharing with you the truth about oral health that most people completely overlook. If you're ready to go beyond the basics, challenge the myths, and truly transform your well-being, let's get started. Today is one of those fun episodes. The team here has surprised me with some trend videos on TikTok, and they want to know my opinion about it. So let's see what's real and what's myth from these trends. So let's start with the first one. I'll play this.
You have to scrub your tongue.
All right, okay. Yeah.
That word came from my tongue. This is the biggest my tongue has ever been.
I'm going to stop this. This is a very good advice. We should tongue scrape. We should clean our tongue. As I showed on the previous episode, what I wanted to do, you can either use your toothbrush or the tongue scraper. However, if you're using the toothbrush, do not do it just like what she did. I try to avoid one of the foaming agents because we know that they're not good for us. Second, do not scrub like back and forth, because imagine that the tongue is like a shaggy carpet. So if you have dust, or in this case bacteria plaques sitting amongst those shaggy bits, you're just moving them up and down and not really removing them. So if you're using the toothbrush, go from the back of the tongue and move them forward until they're out. Or if you're using a tongue scraper, hold from the back and just pull the tongue scraper gently. Don't be harsh on your tongue, but it is very, very important to do this, to adopt this routine. So thumbs up to this girl. The technique can be improved, but the concept, it's key. So yeah, let's see what's the next one here.
So it happened again, another 2 patients today, and I decided to make a quick video about it.
You need to stop water flossing. You may have heard it cleans your teeth. You likely heard it eliminates stinky mouth bacteria and is fine to use with braces.
So you're probably seeing videos like that. It's coming all the time to my timeline, and I really need to make people aware. That's a big lie. Water floss doesn't prevent gum disease. Water floss doesn't prevent gingivitis. Water floss is not a tool that you should use daily to prevent and treat, or whatever you may thinking, or whatever they are saying that it's good for your mouth. Stop using that. Listen to what I have to say.
I could not disagree more. I super disagree with this one. I am a huge fan of water flosser and irrigation devices. What is key, and I have some people who come and think, oh, I'm going to be great because I'm using my water flosser. But if you have a tool and you don't know how to use it, the problem is not the tool, is the technique. So it's the same thing. I can give you the best toothbrush in the market. If you don't know what to do and you're just like, brushing your hair with it, it's not going to clean your teeth. You have to have a proper technique to use the right tools. I am a huge fan of water flosser devices. And I always tell my patients, imagine that you have a pen in your hand and you're actually underlying the gums and the areas in between your teeth. So I always say, start from your back teeth and clean the back there. Always turn the water flosser on when it's in the mouth. And then once you turn it on, use it as if you had a pen, underline the gums, pointing the water at a 90-degree angle, cleaning in between the teeth and moving all around the gums and in the areas where the teeth meet. We call them interproximal spaces, but right in those spaces, run the water flosser there. And I always tell my patients, do it from the cheek side and then do it from the inside. Normally the water flosser devices or the irrigation devices, they have a very good ergonomic, how do you say this? Shape. They're very ergonomic in their shape, so it's easy to actually use them from both sides. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's better to watch a video and learn it. I'm teaching you the basics now, and I also have another video where I talk about water flossing and the best routine to maintain a good oral hygiene. But it's really, really important to do it. Now, one more point about what this other colleague is commenting here. Between having a patient not flossing at all and using the water flosser, I'm always in pro of the water flosser. Combined with a good technique, it's gold. And I really see extreme changes in patients' oral inflammation, gum disease, and plaque control when they start using water flossers in the proper way with the right technique. So, look, I'm going to leave you with this one. I have the links below for the water flosser, the toothbrush, toothpaste, everything that I recommend too. But I want to reiterate here, I am a huge fan of water flossers.
I'm worried my teeth are gonna kill me. I want to be there for my kids to watch them grow up. You know, I want to see them get saved in church.
I can fix your teeth, but you have to baptize into the Mormon religion first.
Stop it. You're a dumbass.
All right, you don't have to get baptized in the Mormon religion, but I'll still fix your teeth today.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. God bless you. Thank you, Lord.
I don't know how I'm gonna fix them.
Really?
They're wrecked. But I got to. You think I can do it?
If you think you can do it, I think you can do it.
I'm getting a little
Oh, sweetheart.
just a little bit stronger, and I'm done hoping that we could work it out. I'm done with how it feels, spinning my wheels, letting you drag my heart around and
Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about this video. First, our sweetheart. Hope she's happy with her smile. A few things to talk about here. Yes, poor oral health and infections in teeth can kill people. It is not a myth. We see that over and over again. It is very sad, especially because it is preventable. If we have the right information, if we make the right choices, and if we get things early, we can prevent things from getting to this state that we just saw on this video. I'm very, very happy for this lady that she went and looked for help. I'm not sure if this treatment that she's had is a permanent treatment. I'm really hoping it's not, because in fact, it's masking the problem. It's giving her a beautiful smile, but we didn't see anything about removing all the caries and the cavities that were there. We didn't see any cleaning on her gums to remove the hard, bad bacteria from the gums. What we see at the end is this beautiful makeup that was put on top of teeth. And I have the impression that a lot of bad stuff was left under. So I'm never going to recommend this as a long-term treatment. But the key of this video, guys, thank you for selecting this, because this is a very important topic. We can't ignore. Aesthetics are important, but health comes first. So yes, we know that infections can kill you. We know that some bacteria in the mouth interact with the whole body. We see problems with heart, lungs, brain, all connected to the bacteria that's in the mouth. Diabetes, lots of things. Actually, 57 different types of disease, like colorectal cancer. I can keep just naming diseases here that have been correlated with the bacteria in the mouth. So it is really important to treat this first and then think of the aesthetic. If you're one of these patients who have got to a situation like this, Remember, it took time for you to get to this. And it's fine if that's where you are today. But what we can do from here on is actually not hurry to have a beautiful smile, but work in replenishing your health, reestablishing good habits, and then we build to that aesthetic result. So I just want to leave you with this one here. I think it's a valuable lesson to you. Ooh, let's look at this. I like this.
We woke up intoxicated off of all type of drugs. I'm never sober.
Okay, yeah, her bite is perfect. It's called a class 1 occlusion, but there's 3 main types of bites that we see. Which one are you? So first is the class 1, where the upper canine fits perfectly between the lower canine and the lower first premolar like this. Then we have a class 2 occlusion, where the upper canine is in front of that perfect spot. So oftentimes the upper canine will be hitting into the lower canine or all the way in front of the lower canine like this. We also refer to this as excessive overjet, or the public calls it an overbite. And then there's a class 3, where the upper canine is actually behind the perfect spot and is often hitting into the first premolar or behind the first premolar like this. And in a lot of these cases, we refer to them as an underbite.
Yeah, he's right. A few things here. What we see nowadays, class 1, the perfect bite, like this girl has beautiful, beautiful teeth, is what we aim for. Now, what are the risks that we have when we don't have a class 1 bite and we have a class 2 or 3? So class 1, like this. Class 2, normally we see the chin is a little bit backwards. And class 3 is when we have more of this. So the lower jaw is actually in front of the upper jaw. So that's not good. The problems with this one is that the joint up here suffers because we don't have a good spread of forces happening here. So we'll tend to see a little bit more headaches happening, a little bit more trouble with class 2 because the lower jaw is actually smaller. And we tend to see even more breathing issues like sleep apnea, snoring, agitated sleep with class 2. We can work on this from early age. And why this happens so much? There is always the genetic contribution to a class 2, but our soft, modern, processed diet plays a massive role on how our jaws develop. So keep that in mind. Chew your celeries, carrots, give cucumbers to your children, apples, things that require chewing to help the jaws grow. And if you look at your child, or if you are one of those people that have a small, narrow, lower jaw, seek for help, because that has detrimental effects, not only on your joint, your quality of life. So keep that in mind. Seek for help. Chew more fibers-rich foods to help your jaw grow more. The other thing is tongue posture. We talk about all this in a different episode, so go back on our playlist of episodes and look at our breathing episode where we're going to break this down a little bit more. The third class, which is class 3, it's where people have the lower jaw overgrowing the upper jaw, normally with what you call a crossbite, like this, or tip-to-tip bite. So instead of having the bite like this, which is the class 1 that we saw, that beautiful smile, we have this or this with the class 3. The problem with this, again, it is a joint issue, but also the teeth wear are very, very unnatural. The teeth tend to wear more rapidly, and the effectiveness on chewing and breaking down food really drops because there's not a lot of contact between teeth among all the teeth in the mouth, and the food is not broken into smaller pieces that can be absorbed to optimal health by the gut. So really, really important. We can't isolate things and think, oh, what's happening in the mouth, or my teeth are crooked, or I have a class 1, class 2, class 3, and it's fine. In fact, it has other detrimental effects. Real quick, your mouth is the gateway to your overall health, and at Casuarina Dental, our focus is on you. If you're ready for a holistic approach to dental care, book your appointment now via the link in the show notes. Now, back to the episode. My gosh, this one.
Your general dentist should not be doing your root canals. Dr. Trivedi, we're going to save your teeth. This is why your general dentist should not be doing your root canal. I'm a general dentist. If I needed a root canal, I'm going to an endodontist. You ask any general dentist, who would they want their root canal done by?
Look, I'm a dentist and I have to agree with this. I have to agree with this comment. What's the difference between a general dentist and a specialized dentist is that the tools are slightly different. I'm talking for the most part, okay? Like we have a dentist in our office and she is a specialist overseas. She just hasn't done her specialty to be recognized in Australia, but she is a specialist back in Brazil and she's very thorough with her root canal treatments using the most biocompatible materials, techniques, like really, really thorough. I trust seeing her as my endodontist, but in general, as a general advice to you, a specialist approach is the best approach to have. And yes, you ask any dentist, and that's what we're going to say to you.
They're all going to say the same thing, an endodontist. Why an endodontist? They do one thing, and they do one thing well. General dentists, we generally do everything. We do them okay, but we're no endodontist. As an airway dentist, as a biomimetic dentist, I can tell you right now, don't go to your general dentist to get a root canal.
I just find it interesting that he is more focused on the breathing side of things, but he's talking about the root canal. And I have to agree with him. I would prefer seeing a specialist for my root canal if I ever needed one. And again, as I said, we have amazing dentists that perform beautiful root canals, but as a rule of thumb, a specialist would be the best path to go to. Ooh.
People don't know this, but in 1988, one of the majors, Procter & Gamble, came out with a product called Crest Sparkle. It was fluorescent blue,
I remember.
had sparkles, of bubblegum flavored.
Yep.
Fluoride fatalities in children, it was something like 280%. That is why now there's an FDA-mandated poison warning on every tube of toothpaste that contains fluoride.
If you are one of our followers here, or if this is your first episode with us, I want to invite you to watch the previous episodes where we talk about fluoride. I look at that Crest sparkling toothpaste and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these guys are so good at marketing. Because what did these do? People thought, oh, this is amazing. It can go in your mouth, in my mouth, so I can swallow it, because that should be the idea with everything we put in our body. If it can go in my body, it's something I can eat. Not that we should, but I'm just saying that it should be something that does not affect our health negatively. And it's clear here that people have died from eating fluoridated toothpaste. Just to tell you that, is that really good? Watch our previous episodes and you see the reasons, the science behind why we do not recommend fluoride. But let me watch.
A moment for that.
Yes.
Everyone should hear that.
Yes, everyone should hear that.
That is like, no one can say that that's not science, because
No,
literally
no,
the
because
FDA
if you
is
gave
saying
me a
it.
tube right now, I would read it. I know what it says. It says, warning, keep out of reach of children.
Yes, and what we see, and we talk about this in other episodes, it's not just the problem that we'll do like with your gut and bone and endocrine system. It is really dangerous, especially for young kids, depending on the weight and how much exposure they have to fluoride. We see even IQ levels dropping because of fluoride exposure. So, please, please, please make an educated decision about what you put in your mouth and what you give to your family to put in their mouth as well.
A lot of people ask me what the final stage of getting your veneers looks like. So here it is. Here's Dr. Hales cutting off all of my temporaries and cleaning everything up. Now he's placing a blue gel on my teeth, and this is called etchant. It's basically like pre-priming my teeth before he's able to place the bond on. So in the next frame, you can see that they're rinsing everything off and placing that bonding material.
Well, one thing that really got my attention here, if you watch this channel, you know I am very conservative, and I only recommend veneers in some cases for my patients. Not a lot of people come and ask me for veneers, and I'm like, oh, do you really think you need that? Like, we could get away with some whitening or do something else. Veneers are great for some people, and I love veneers in some cases. What's getting my attention here is that this dentist was very conservative with these person's teeth. You see that there's not a lot of grinding, not a lot of natural tooth structure lost in order to place veneers, and I really like that.
Of how thin and small my veneers are. Here's our assistant filling up my tooth with some temporary try-in cement. This is what we do prior to finally cementing them so that we can change and adjust the undertones of the tooth. This is Dr. Hales placing my veneers on. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts.
It's so satisfying.
I love watching the cement ooze out of the gum line. I don't know what it is, it's just so satisfying. You can also appreciate that my teeth were extremely minimally prepped. So Dr. Hales is extremely minimally invasive and he left so much natural healthy tooth structure, so no shark teeth here.
Yes, that's exactly right. We want to be conservative. We want to give back a natural smile, but we don't want to take away a lot of what nature has given us. So that looks very good. And what's good about our veneers nowadays, we have a lot of conservative approaches to them, and we can see the end result even before we start the treatment. So sometimes what we do with patients, the patients come in, they want to have veneers, and we agree it is a good case, it is a good option for them to have veneers. We can actually show them how their teeth are going to look before we start working on their teeth. And it gives them a good perspective and good expectation of what can and can't be done with veneers. And that's great. Let's see.
Why do I do holistic or natural dentistry? As a natural holistic dentist, you do not like root canals because they are dead teeth. They are just not healthy for you. For some people, they can even cause cancer. For example, I have a great patient here and the tooth, it's broken down. It's been broken down for a while. She went to another dentist and they said, well, we have to do root canal. So we're going to try to save the tooth. We do different things, get the decay out. Then we use laser, we use ozone, and we try to kill the bacteria. Now, the tooth still tested vital to us last time when she was here, and the tooth will need a crown sometimes if it's smaller.
She makes some very bold comments here in relation to the root canals and cancer, and she is right. If the root canal treated tooth is infected, there's infection spreading through the bone, we should really consider removing that infection and cleaning out what's happening there, maybe considering other options like implants or other things to replace these teeth. In the case that the infection is contained within the upper part of the tooth, not so much within the roots and bone, there are alternatives. Instead of having the tooth taken out straight away, there are ways of treating with what she's saying, laser, ozone. And that's exactly what we like doing. We like treating in a more comprehensive, integrative way in order to give the best chances for those teeth to survive and to keep them in function. So I have to agree with her. I don't like being so radical and just stating that root canal treatment or root canal treated teeth are going to give you cancer, because I don't think that this is an accurate information to share with you. And it sounds like very fear-based, and I don't like that. As long as we are making educated decisions on what we giving our body and what we're keeping in our body, then we're happy. But we need to understand the science and what we're saying before we actually say things.
Or whole, I can do a porcelain filling. And another thing which is different from regular dentist to natural dentist is that we do not like mercury fillings because they are just unhealthy. I mean, mercury is not safe anywhere else. What would be safe in your mouth? Natural cosmetic dentistry. Come follow us for more.
Yes, that's right. And we speak about this on previous episodes as well. Mercury fillings should be avoided. Look, it is my preference to have them removed. It doesn't mean that I remove for all my patients. I always discuss with them, and it is their choice what they're doing. And in a lot of cases, they decide to keep them, and I'm happy to monitor them for them. The ways that I approach them is if they're decayed or if they're cracked or if they're starting to fail, I'm going to say, look, we have more mercury leaking here in this instance. We know that mercury leaks to the body just by having them sitting there. Anytime that there is anything warm or the temperature is elevated around the fillings, we see mercury being released through the body. And just know this, there's no safe level of mercury for the human body. There's no safe level. So 0 is the safe level for mercury in the body. So why would you want to put an amalgam filling? And why would you want to keep an amalgam filling if you have one? So that's really food for thought here. I think it was great back then in the, I don't know when, 40s or 30s when mercury fillings were invented, because they didn't have anything else. And it's the same as, for example, asbestos. We used to think that asbestos was great, but now we see all the problems with asbestos. So I guess we only know what we know, but now you know better. So this was fun. It's always fun to do these reaction videos. Thank you to the team. Thank you for organizing these. I always love these ones. It's so spontaneous. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something here. If you did, place a comment. Tell me which reaction was your favorite one, and tell me which one of these have you learned something from. I'm always curious to know how I can help you better, how I can help you make better decisions for yourself, and to also have some fun, because I always find this very fun to do. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning into Mind Your Mouth. These episodes have been created for you. If you found this conversation helpful, the best way to support the show is by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode. For more tips on holistic dental health, follow me on social media at Casuarina Dental. In the meantime, take care of your smile, take care of your health, and I'll see you in the next episode.